That thing where they say make we no do.
Want
we go do
want to taste it.
so
We want to feel it.
my very close friend also,
Yeah,
she went from being a Jehovah Witness to a traditional worshiper.
Yeah.
Wow, what a transition.
That is the craziest thing I've ever seen, like, in a very long time. It still shocks me to today.
Wow.
And our families are very strong witnesses, like our whole family. No, I'm not talking about just our mother and father. I'm talking about
everyone
generations.
from
They are
uncles,
Jehovah
aunties.
Witness. Yes, they are Jehovah Witness.
That's-
Cousins.
How
that's
do you
a
go from
crossroads
that? I'm telling you, how do you
transition.
go from?
Hi guys, welcome back to the ZPod, where Gen Z talks is unfiltered. I am Vera.
And I am Maya.
So right about now today, we're going into a very, very amazing topic, which is religion. But before we move on, I have two amazing guests here with me, and I would like them to quickly introduce themselves.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am Sadiq Jinad. I'm a data scientist as well as a business intelligence analyst. And looking forward to a very productive conversation today. Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Oluwanifemi. I'm a ghostwriter, a creative writer. I'm also a email marketer and lead generator. I'm happy to be here.
Nice
Wow.
to have you guys here. You're
Really
welcome.
nice to have you all here. So let's get straight into it. You know, this is obviously the Gen Z generation, right?
Yeah.
So now for our generation, religion is complicated, right? Some of us are Christians, some are Muslims, while others are traditional worshippers. We also have others that believe in God, but they don't want to have anything to do with religion, yeah, or even organized religion, yeah. So we're going to dive into all of that today on our talk. And of course, I've got my amazing guest here, and I want you all to bring your very best, your points down here on this table, so that we'll have this a very, very amazing way to entertain both ourselves and our audiences
audience, yeah.
out there. So let me start with this. What does religion actually mean to you? I don't want AI definition, Gemini or ChatGPT definition. What does religion mean to you personally? So Sadiq, let's have you.
Okay. So I would like to approach the question from the perspective of, let me say, personal experience, right? And when I mean personal experience, I mean for we as Gen Zs in Nigeria as well as Africa. Let me put it like that. So for us in Africa, in Nigeria generally, I think to a very much large extent, religion is more of our identity, right? When we talk about our religion, we are talking about things that actually a kind of old, like fibers that actually hold our society. Before the coming of Islam and Christianity to Africa, to African society, there had been some elements of religion which had been existing,
Okay.
and that had gone over time.
Yes.
And even as Gen Zs, we've also, in as much as fine, we've, as a result of our parents and stuff, we've tend to like follow religions from our parents. But overall, I think for me, religion is more of identity for most Gen Zs. It's like part of things that actually portrays who we are and how we
Okay.
tend to express ourselves
Ourselves.
Yeah.
generally. Yeah.
Okay, so
Thank you.
Nifemi, let's have your take.
Well, to me, I'll say religion is more like, like people say, it's actually a lifestyle to me. I feel it's something that people use to dictate how their everyday lives should live, their interaction with others, like how you said also, like their expression of self. Yeah, so I also believe it's, I don't know if I'll say unspoken rule, but it's also spoken also. So
Yeah.
I'll just say it's guidelines. Yeah, it's lifestyle, just how you're meant to live your life and
Yeah.
how you interact with your community and all.
Oh, okay, so Maya, do you?
Yeah, I agree with what they've said. I feel like religion is like your way of life. It's more of like a culture, something that you believe in, something that you dwell in. Yeah, I think that's just what religion is to
Okay,
me.
okay. Do you think religion for Gen Z? Do you think religion is more about culture and identity, or it's just about personal faith?
Well, it's actually very
Okay.
right. For some persons, it's more of identity. It's more
Okay.
of things that actually defines who they are. That's their personality. It goes beyond just the practice. It also go as far as both the physicality as well as the spirituality, right? However, for some other persons, it's more of like you rightly put earlier, like Nifemi put earlier, it's more of how do you even put it? Sorry.
Lifestyle, like
Lifestyle,
Lifestyle.
exactly. So for some other person, it's more of lifestyle. It's more of the society probably the way the society, like the norms in the society, and then trying to like
yes.
conform to the norm in such society. That's
Okay.
also what it is for some other person. So
Okay.
it's relative, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
But
okay.
I think if you bring it to the Gen Z life, it's more about faith, what people believe in, because Gen Zs are, we do crazy things sometimes,
Yeah.
you know. We want to do what we want to do. We don't want to do
It could be
what
highly
we've been,
recalcitrant.
what we've
I can
been
relate
brought
to
up
that.
with. So many people
Yeah.
grew up in the Christian home, some grew up in the Muslim home, and then suddenly they want to do tradition. They want to go back to their roots, you know. They want to do something out of the
Outside.
ordinary. Some people even say they are a sister. What do they call these things?
Atheist.
Yeah, they don't believe. They don't want to believe in anything that
my
has to do
God.
with God or anything. Do you understand? So I think it's more of faith, what you actually believe in as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nivemio.
Well, I would say, like you said, it actually varies because if you go into homes that had very strict, like spiritual upbringing
Bringing.
in a particular religion, you notice it's almost as indistinguishable as culture with them. For example, let's say, okay, now you have someone that grows up in a traditional home, they have a lot of superstitions.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of superstitions you will notice in a lot of very
Don't do
strict.
this, don't do that.
Yeah, you see some.
If you do
like,
this, you do
I knew
that.
someone-
Yeah.
I knew someone that you can't mention hell, Satan, or stuff like that. It's like,
Really?
yeah, like it's a
It
superstition.
doesn't
with them.
exist to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have some people too. This one I read this one that I've not actually seen this one, but it wasn't even Nigerian. But it's Gen Z abroad and they don't like fiction because it's not real. You tell you anything that's not real is a lie.
It's a lie.
So you get so some people it's like culture with them.
Yeah.
Then some people it's like it's fate. So yeah, it depends.
Okay, all right. Do you see yourself as a religious, spiritual, or none of them?
I'm not religious.
Okay.
I
Are
would
you
say
spiritual?
My spirituality is like maybe half bottle. I actually believe in. I believe in a bit of spirituality that okay, yeah, there are like forces and yeah, your how would
Spirit,
I'm
mind,
trying
and
to say
all of
chi,
that.
but I don't say chi like your aura or let's
Yes,
say your aura
yes,
now.
yes,
can
yes,
actually
yes,
interact
yes.
with some things, but
Yeah.
in religion per se, I'm not religious. I'm actually not religious.
Okay, so how about you?
Okay, in my own opinion, I would say to some extent I'm religious. So I
Okay.
would liken that to the other definition that we gave earlier when it comes to seeing religion as a kind of lifestyle and other things like that, right? Because at the end of the day, as we understood that for we to live in harmony in the society, there need to be some elements of rules and regulation.
Yeah, structure.
When all of that do not exist, then there will be chaos. People do things haphazardly and stuff. So the same thing, in as much as we might have social norms, social guidelines that guide our existence and coexistence in the society, also in the kind of spiritual realm, there also ought to be some elements of rules and regulation that guides us around, because at the end of the day, the fact that we don't see some things, like rightly said, does not mean that they do not exist.
Yeah.
Some things are beyond our supernatural eyes and
Eyes,
stuff, but that
yes.
does not mean they don't exist.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a relative concept. Some people believe, some people do not believe. So
More
that's
like
highly
philosophy.
relative. Exactly, more philosophy kind of. So I would say a little bit religious, and
Okay.
yeah, it's more like a balance
So
of
it's
both.
a balance
actually,
of both.
exactly,
Okay, Maya,
yeah.
how about you?
I'm not religious.
Okay.
I'm not religious.
Maya can be religious.
Right now, I don't go to the church. I don't go to the mosque. I don't go to the shrine. I don't go to any type of
Okay,
gathering.
okay.
But I believe in what I know. I believe in my identity in Christ. I believe in God. I understand the depth of, the Christian worship. But I don't believe that you have to be in a particular gathering or you have to, do the things that they do, like, sowing seed, all those
Yeah.
religious kind of things. I don't believe in all of that.
Okay.
It's very okay. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but me personally, I don't believe in it. But I would say I'm a little bit spiritual because I am aware of my environment. I understand the depth of spirituality. I understand what it actually means, to communicate with extra forces. Let me put it that way. Do you understand? So yeah, that's just it.
Okay, well, for me, I'm not religious, so I'll say the
Okay.
truth. I'm not a religious person, but I'm a spiritual person to some extent. Yeah, because, being religious, it's more like being into something
Deeply.
deeply.
Yeah,
Right?
commitment. kind of.
Commitment,
No
yes.
going back. Like you are in,
Yeah.
right? And with the kind of world we are now, there are a lot of temptations. There is back and forth. There is backsliding and all of
Backsliding.
that.
That's
yes,
Do you
common.
yeah,
understand?
exactly.
Yeah. So for me, I'm not religious. So I'm a spiritual person to some extent. You know, there are some people whereby they don't go to church, they don't go to mosque, they don't go any shrine, whatever. But whenever they come to somewhere, they sense some things. Do you
Yes,
understand? Those people sense
yes.
some things. Their spirit mind tell them, oh, something is going to happen. Oh, so I
Exactly.
feel this way. Something like that. And before you know it, that thing actually comes to play, comes to life. So for me,
Yeah,
I'm not religious.
it goes back to the oral that you mentioned, you know, being aware, like
Aware,
I
yes.
know that these things exist and I'm, you know, deep in it. Yeah, that's just it.
So why do many of us think that Gen Z say they believe in God, but they don't like religion? You believe in God, but you don't like religion. Why do you think so?
For one, I say religion is very constraining. It's very,
Strict.
yes, it's actually very strict. because
Rigid.
then when you look at the world
And it's
today,
restrictive.
Yeah.
it's very restrictive. When you look at the world today, you see that most of the things that people now will consider fun is already a no. Like
No.
religion is already a sin.
Yeah.
You can't drink. Even if, okay, like Muslims can't drink, Christians can drink, but they can't get drunk.
Get drunk.
Don't get drunk. Don't be drunken.
I like to get drunk. I don't mind that. So
That's a bit personal.
But don't drink to stupor.
Yeah.
get all of that. So just yeah, it's very
You know, you
constrictive.
can't-
And we're a very rebellious generation.
Actually.
Yeah, we feel we should be allowed to do because
We want to parties, we want to go to,
yeah,
you
'cause
know,
me,
gatherings
I have
and
this
everything.
saying, I use that. Since we must die, let us live.
Thank you.
Hey.
Let us
Let us
Yeah,
live.
yeah.
Sharp, sharp.
Yes, I feel that's why Gen Z
Live the
doesn't
life.
really like
Yeah,
religion.
religion.
Yes.
Yeah, so how
Okay,
about you?
so in my own opinion, I would say that so for most persons or most Gen Zs, as the case may be, like Nifemi rightly puts, the fact that religion has a lot of elements of constriction and rules and regulation, follow the rules and stuff. That's what makes it much more uneasy for most Gen Zs to adapt. However, one thing is that fact is fact. 1 plus 1 is 2. Regardless of sentiment or emotion or whatever, it doesn't really change. And what that also means by extension is the fact that, for instance, where religion say we shouldn't do certain things, at the end of the day, regardless of whether it aligns with our personal sentiments or emotions or not, if that thing is right, then it's just right.
right.
If it's wrong, it's just wrong. Regardless of, because of course, we Gen Zs, we are highly recalcitrants. That thing where they say make we no do. That thing go back.
Want to taste it, so we want to feel it.
So regardless of our recalcitrancy at times, fact is fact. If false religion is saying don't do this, if it's good, then it's for our own benefits. And if we decide not to do it, it's our own problem. Of course, we bear the consequence. But if religion says we shouldn't do certain things and we still proceed in doing it, and if that thing is bad, of course we are still going to bear the consequence. So at the end of the day, the high level of rigidity and constrainment and those other things that encompasses religion are, I think, the major factors actually drives most Gen Zs away, because at the end of the day, most Gen Zs just want to be free. You know,
Yeah,
that
we
freedom.
don't like that was what I was going to say.
Don't-
We
don't
don't
tell
like
me what I
restriction.
should
Don't tell us what to
What
do
to do.
exactly.
Exactly,
You can't tell me how to live my life.
Yeah.
I want to live my life on my own terms and everything.
exactly,
That's just it.
All right, so why do Gen Zs about church and mosque, right? So Gen Zs say that pastors don't act as they preach. Mosque are too rigid and too strong for them. So why do you think we Gen Zs complain about church and mosque?
Yeah, it still goes back to the fact that there is restriction, you know. We don't want to do what they are telling us to do, because in our mind we are feeling like these people say they might be doing the same thing that they are telling us not to do. Do you understand? They are telling us, oh, don't do this. We end up hearing different stories about our pastors, about our geos, about our, you know, big clerics. What do they call them?
Imams.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. We end up hearing things about them that brings us back to, and they are telling us not to do it. Meanwhile, they're actually doing it in the corner of their homes. Do you understand? So yeah, I think that's just it.
So how about you, Sadiq?
So I think over time there had been, let me say, some level of adaptation by most religious centers, mosque, church, as the case may be, because unarguably, especially for a country like Nigeria, more than half of our population are youths within the younger age category.
Yes.
So as a result, as a religious center, when I'm a religious center, I'm talking about either mosque or church, as the case may be. So you understood that you need to adapt to reality. Reality is that you have a lot of younger generations.
Yeah.
The mommies and daddies are getting older,
Older.
and then you're having more younger generations coming in.
Yeah.
So you just need to like adapt to this particular younger generations. What are like their interests? What are things that you believe can interest them? And I think that's a majority of the things we are beginning to see these days. In mosque, they always organize things like MSSN and other things. Same thing in the churches. There always a youth program and
Yeah,
stuff.
conferences and
Different
all.
things that, in as much as, okay, even if you are like half religious, let me just take it a little bit back. Even if you are half religious and they see things like this being done in the mosque and in the church, gatherings like this, whereby youth also come together, they have fun and stuff. That's also things like attracts more youth
More.
to.
Yeah.
So
sorry,
I think
sorry. Let me put this in.
Yeah, sure.
It goes back to there are some churches that way back they don't use. I don't want to mention church names.
Don't mention
They
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
use
yeah.
televisions in their home.
Yeah.
Some churches they don't play drum sets, you know,
sets,
and that kind of like
instruments.
dragged youth
Yeah,
away from them
exactly,
because
yeah.
why can't I'm in a church, I'm not in a burial ground, I want to dance, I want to praise God, I want to have fun and everything. These are the things that they do in these new age churches that they've just built nowadays,
and that's really attracting a lot
yeah.
of younger
And now
generations.
these churches that were practicing those religion then they are kind of like switching it now.
Yeah, they are,
Improving,
they are
meeting up with reality.
yes.
Exactly.
If you look at
Yes.
it,
Yeah.
so
So yeah, I actually agree with what you're saying because personally, I actually grew up in Living Faith Church.
okay,
So there was a branch we moved to when we moved to Ikorodu, and then I think they actually had a real problem because I would say about 80% of the church were like teens. Let's say about 20% above were elderly, the
Adults.
middle age and elderly. But their preaching was centered to those elderly and middle aged
Yeah.
people. Because I think around that time I was about 16. I just finished WAEC and so I'm going to church and pastor is coming every day to preach. On marriage.
right.
Children, family.
So like
What am I doing
Yeah.
here?
Like,
there was even a time when like the entire teens church disappeared.
Can you imagine?
Like they stopped coming all at once.
Wow.
That was when I was also in school and I joined like one of these new age churches and it was so like fascinating.
Yeah.
They went to teach. They had older people there too, but they usually like organize special services for those older.
Yeah.
Most of the time, what you're telling is about connections, networking, just like building.
Things that we want to
yourself.
share as
Personal
a young
development.
teenager,
Yes.
grooming,
Exactly.
presence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get.
Yeah, so that was So I believe it's this archaic methods of
and it,
Yeah.
and
religion.
sorry, and if we even look at it, now with the way things are now, even churches are like improving the way they preach and all of that. They are trying to make everything more exciting to win so in a very fun way. If you look at even our gospel artists now, majority of them they don't do all those they are slow. They
Conventional.
now play songs that produce songs
because
that would
even like you're saying, sorry,
yeah.
you see that most churches now you can actually like stream live services.
Yes,
on YouTube.
exactly.
Because if you tell somebody that you don't go to church, watch it on your phone, they will laugh at you. They'll call you a sinner.
Okay.
That God doesn't come to your home and stuff like that. So you get people are now adapting. Personally, I haven't been to a church in over a year.
Okay.
Present.
I haven't been to a church in over a year.
Present. Mine is not up to a year. I went to church for New Year.
Wow,
New Year.
really?
Yes,
I-
Happy
I
New Year.
went to
And
church.
the last
I
time I
went
went
to
to
church
church
last
before
year.
this New Year was the New Year of the last one.
Well, for me, I
Last
don't
time
miss
I went to
church.
church was August
Oh my
last
God.
year.
Wow,
So when I did August
interesting.
fast, I knew I'd not been in church for a year. And honestly, I don't feel different. People
Right.
tell me that if you've not been
Honestly.
in church, this and that. And
No.
I won't lie, since I stopped being a regular member of church, because one of the reasons why I stopped was I needed to rest. You see a lot of churches. My dad was a deacon back then. Tuesday services, you would go for one Tuesday, I forgot what they call it. Wednesday, there's midweek. If it's the first week of the month, you have Thursday service, then you have all night. Saturday, you're meant to rest. You used to do what the church should have done.
Come and do
Then
rehearsals.
you come on Sunday again. So I was not like,
That's
this is
a
why
lot
people are
already.
dying early. You know?
The stress.
There's no rest.
There's
no
no
rest.
rest.
And then the
Yeah,
Lagos
some
stress.
churches do Sunday to Sunday.
Yes.
Like, what do you mean you
Yeah.
have service for every
Service,
day of the week?
midweek service.
That's extreme. I
So
think
yeah,
it's
like
extreme.
yes, it's this new adaptation that's actually helping religion with Gen Z.
Okay, all right. So, do we think Gen Zs are just lazy about religion, or we are just asking questions that the older generation did not ask?
We are asking questions. It's not like we are lazy. I don't think we are lazy, but our eyes have just been open to so many things. We want to really understand the depth of whatever it is that we are practicing, whether it is Christianity or Islamic. We want to understand the depth. We don't just want to follow whatever it is you people have laid down for us. We want you people to give us answers to so many questions. And I think it's a very, very good thing for us to be asking questions.
Right.
That means we have interest. We
Yeah.
are interested.
Yes.
It's not like we are trying to abandon the whole thing that they believe in, but we just want to understand the depth of whatever it
And
is that
even
they are
bring a
telling us.
balance
Yes,
to
exactly.
it. So how about you, Sadiq?
Yeah, so I think for, let me say, the major reason that facilitate majority of the questions that Gen Z do ask is, like Maya rightly said, is born out of interest, right? If you're not interested in something, you probably wouldn't be interested in
Yes.
wanting to know more about it.
Yes.
And I think to a large extent, for instance, in let me say in Islam, questioning is very, very important, right? Before you do anything, you must ask questions, you must understand what you're doing. For instance, when you pray 5 times a day, you don't just say you want to begin washing your hands and you want to put your head down. No. You need to ask questions, you need to learn, you need to understand.
Why am I doing
Why?
Exactly. Why am I doing it? What's the benefits? Because I can't just be doing something for nothing's
nothing.
sake.
Yes.
So why am I doing it? What's the essence? What's the benefits? And then at the end of the day, does it in any way kind of improve my life as an individual? Also, as the manner I relate with people and stuff. When, for instance, I observe prayer, does it in any way makes me a much more calm person? If let's assume maybe I'm a Afazad person kind of. So for most, let me say, young Muslims, so these are like things that you need to like have at the back of your mind. You need to always ask questions. You need to always seek clarity and understand a lot of things before even doing any parts of the religion. So yeah, the questions are very, very valid. As Gen Z, we are highly inquisitive. We want to know what is the reason behind these things.
Everything.
Not just these are our forefathers used to do it.
Yes, we'll do it like
that's
that.
not sufficient
Because-
answer.
Exactly. And the thing is that most of these our religion leaders, some of them, let me not use most of, some of them do not like the questions that we ask.
Yeah.
Because they just want us to do what they are doing. They don't want us to ask questions.
Oftentimes, always
And-
feel challenging. like,
Exactly.
you're
You're
challenging me.
challenging
Like,
me, like, how can you-
Yeah,
how can you-
exactly.
exactly.
you that came to a name ceremony.
Eh.
And that's driving
I
us
watched your
away. It keeps
bum.
driving us away because we need questions to be answered. We need our
Yeah.
questions to be
To be
answered.
answered.
That's just it.
Right.
Yeah, so it's questions are correct, like you said, because there's something that annoys me. I think, see, growing up, I was actually very religious. That was actually, I was actually very religious when I grew up because I remember one time during Children's Day, I was called to go preach on,
The altar.
yeah, with adults and everything. So my problem with it was they don't allow you to ask questions. Anything, they'll be like, question not, question
Exactly.
not. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true.
We need to ask these questions. You can't expect us to follow
Expect.
blindly. Because I ask a lot of questions. I'm actually a very curious person. So when you start asking these questions and they'll tell you that it's blasphemy to say this, you're just asking a question. You didn't say anything wrong. So it just becomes stressful. So that makes it seem like we're lazy. Because to me, I think you have to be very diligent to be a blind follower.
Yes.
You actually have to be very, so yeah, I guess it may seem like laziness, but it's not laziness. That's what I say.
Yeah, okay. So here is a story from one of our anonymous link, and it says, I grew up Christian. My parents forced me to attend church every Sunday. But now that I'm in the university, I stopped going. I pray, but I don't trust churches anymore because of the way pastors focus on money. Am I walking the wrong way?
Okay, so let me just give a little bit of experience I had with someone with respect to something like this. So growing up at Agege, somewhere
Yes.
around Dokpemo, so there used to be this person. He's like a little bit older than me then. So we call him Fladomin. That's like the street name, by the way. So we call him Fladomin. So Fladomin sees himself as a Christmas. I'm sure you should have heard concept like that.
Yeah.
So, and his own is highly practicable, meaning on Friday, I personally used to see him at Jumat. He comes to Jumat on Fridays, and then on Sunday,
Goes to
we also
church.
see him at the church within our environments there.
Wow.
And
Omo.
he's consistent on both sides.
Interesting.
And then we've
This is
asked
serious.
Vladimir that, but why like come attend Jumat this Friday, attend
Practice it. religion.
Sunday service on Sunday. So it was like at the end of the day, he just believed that if there is a God which exists, and then he is to be saved, no matter the matter, on either side,
He's saved.
no matter the matter, either side.
He's putting his eggs in
This
different
strategy.
baskets.
Exactly, yeah. More kind of a thing. So I think almost similar situation is where this person is finding his or herself, as the case may be. An instance whereby they grew up in a particular environment and then why they get into another environment, probably as a result of that environment. Maybe there weren't more people that were practicing it, like where they came
Yes,
from,
yes.
and then these new environments are now trying to like influence them and stuff. But at the end of the day, I think for me, what really matters is knowing yourself. Like Socrates said, he said, "Know thyself and stick true unto it." If you know who you are, if you understand that, okay, regardless of religion in quotes or not, you understand that one, you need to be a good person. Because I think for me, the essence of religion at the end of the day is for we to be able to, it's like a set of rules kind of that help us to be able to relate with the next person
Yes.
beside us. At the end of the day, there are certain teachings that cut across all religions. For instance, love your neighbor as yourself, don't do evil to the next person. So all these things are like
Commandments.
things that even if you're able to practice them in your daily life and you are not religious in quotes, I think you're still good to go, essentially.
Right. If
What do
any,
you think about that?
Well, created for us and not the other way around. We're
Yes.
created for religion.
Yeah.
So because you see some people, when I worked my first job, my mom was like, I should give my salary as first fruits. In my own mind, I was like, I actually need this money. More than the
So I
pastor.
should stop trying because I want to
The
God.
Nigerian economy
I was like, I actually needed this
strangulating
my
money
me.
God.
more than the pastor. I gave it. I gave
Ha!
it because I was still dependent on them. Like, at least even if this one goes full day out.
to
Yeah,
multiply.
I guess.
So-
Actually,
But yeah,
yes.
so I
For
was going
someone
like
that-
that. You get you see some. You go to a church now. I don't know if you know this. I usually call it faith economics. That you go to a faith marketing. You go to a church now. Pastor will tell you that he believes the youth are going to do this and that. So there's a way they try and like pressure you and make you feel bad if you're not contributing. You can't do that for me.
Sharp
If there are
guy.
10 people
Feel
in
bad.
I don't have my
Sharp
own.
guy.
if there are 10 people in church and 9999999 go and drop, I'll be the one that sits back because because if I don't have, I don't have. But I don't
Yeah.
believe God is going to judge me for
Because
that
of
kind of
Yes,
that, yes.
yes.
God, it's actually the heart that God sees.
Yeah, so I feel that person can keep going to church, follow your faith, read if the what they're preaching is actually accurate and it's just the that pastor's money aspect, you can just, I would say, shun it to, or you just find another place to go to. Churches, I think after POS centers, churches and mosques are probably the most abundant structures you find.
I know.
So
yeah.
you actually see somewhere else.
And I actually feel like so many churches nowadays, they preach different things. Some people preach the gospel, some people preach love, some people
Salvation.
preach salvation,
Yeah.
you know, there
Yeah.
are different sectors. So whichever one works for you, you know, walk in that line and just do whatever works for you. So now let's talk about something very, very interesting. So many young people nowadays are going back to traditional worship. So many youths nowadays, I see it on social media and I'm like, everybody is now into Ifa, Oshun,
Shango.
Shango, all of those things. So I want to ask, is it just that they are following trend or they are just curious about their roots? They want to know more about their roots. I'd like to understand that.
Okay, so let me just take it from this saying in Yoruba that a river that forgets its source. Sorry, I can't really remember the Yoruba adage properly.
Dry up, yeah.
Exactly, thank you. So at the end of the day, regardless of whether I want to acknowledge it or not, as persons, as people, especially as black people, we have our own roots, right? We have where we come from.
Yes.
We have where we've evolved to where we are at the moment, right? And then for young persons, like we've been able to establish here, there is this high level of curiosity that we always have, especially whenever we are confronted with things that we are probably not familiar with or things that we've only heard of but we've not really experienced. So we really want to be like, okay, what's behind
What
this
is this
thing?
about?
Like, especially those things that feels like secrets, like, or like, okay, let me use the word cult, kind of like just very few people knows it. It's like a clique kind of. So as Gen Zs, we're always a kind of fascinated about things like that. And I think that's one of the things that has really, really attracted most Gen Zs back to, practicing this, our indigenous religions, as the case may be. And even beyond just the indigenous religion, I think for most Gen Zs also across different parts of the world, they've been exploring different religions. You know, the mainstream religion across the world has always been Islam, Christianity, predominantly,
Yes.
right? However, other parts of the world, outside of Africa and stuff, we now see guys that are now exploring things like Zoroastrianism, which is like the worship of the sun. Judaism is also there.
Yeah, Judaism.
Then I think there was also one I heard that those ones they worship stones. I've forgotten how they name that religion. So Gen Zs, out of inquisitivity, or let me say being inquisitive, they're now tend to like explore different religions outside of the mainstream, and out of that, wanting to do things that are different from the norms, different from what
Yes.
my parents did. They are now exploring different religion, including those that claim that they are atheists, those that don't believe in God, those that practices Zoroastrianism and other religions. So I
Yeah.
think at the end of the day, it's more of being inquisitive that is driving most Gen Zs to indigenous religions back again. Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
On my part, I think it's actually craved. Because there's something I actually dislike about Gen
Thank
Z is
you.
Follow
we
trend.
head mentality is very strong in us. I think compared to the previous generation, because all you need is a few influencers, a few celebrities to
To
adopt
do
something.
it,
Yes, and
then
then
you,
they are into
you're
it.
into
Yeah.
it.
So then I was something else also about this, going back to traditional worship. It's there's this need to be unique among us. There's this I was talking about it with someone. What was the word? Sorry. There's this hunger to be eccentric amongst Gen Z. Everyone wants to seem like one free thinker.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so we
One
adopt
philosopher.
different things. So you see, some people they'll be like they're chasing this Ifa stuff, but they don't actually believe in it. Once they're done taking a selfie with
Yeah.
Ikari, they are going back to church. Or they may even be like they may not really be atheists, but
Yeah.
they're not even strong. Most of it just for camera, just so people can be like, this
You
person
also
is-
know,
yeah.
yes.
100 likes.
Yeah.
Aura.
Yeah.
I like the aura you're brewing.
Yes.
Farming aura.
So,
Yeah.
though I know some people actually. I know someone that was in Unilag that was actually like strong in this. She actually goes to Oshun for this I
Oshun
don't know.
Shogbo Festival.
Yeah,
Just-
like she
just Oshun
West
Shogbo.
Cowrie, she has different types. Like
Oh.
so, she's actually, I say, a real believer in.
Oh, okay.
And you
Ifa.
see-
My very close friend also.
Yeah, so-
She went from being a Jehovah Witness to a traditional worshiper.
Yeah.
Wow, what a transition.
That is the craziest thing I've ever seen, like in a very long time. It still shocks me to today. And our families are very strong witnesses, like our whole family. No, I'm not talking about just our mother and father. I'm talking
yeah,
about
everyone
generations.
from
They are
uncles,
Jehovah
aunties.
Witness. Yes, they are Jehovah Witness.
That's-
Cousins.
How? How
that's
do you
a
go from
crossroads
that? I'm telling you, how do you go from?
I want to rebellion too.
She is. She's very, very rebellious.
So I feel most of it is just that trend, just a way to seem unique because a lot of them don't really take it. Some of them may not really believe in it that much, but it's just something that well, people find you interesting with. You put carries in your hair, you then have someone that this person is actually a scammer. So she now does like she's a spiritual worshiper, just so people are scared to collect their money back.
Yeah.
Then
So I'm not really. I feel it's trend.
Trend. Same. I also feel it's also trend because I mean this thing that's called FOMO, fear of missing out,
Missing
right?
out, yeah.
If things are happening, things are going on, and they're like, do you know this? Do you know that? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Before you know it, you're into it. So you say,
Yeah.
okay. It's
I
like
now-
this
I now
was
know
trend.
it.
And it's because some of people, some of them just want this thing for clout,
Yeah,
for
for
trend
clout, yeah.
on social
Feel
media and
among.
all of that. So when
Or
that
family.
comes in, they just want I want to feel among. And the moment that thing is on, you definitely get that number of likes or engagement or
Yeah.
whatever it
They-
is you
they
want.
required,
Exactly. So I just feel
desired
it's trend at some
I
point.
understand that point of view, but I also think some people are genuinely curious.
Yeah,
Some people
as
really
much
genuinely
as we
Feel
have
connected. You know, you go to the church. Some people they go to the church and then they don't feel connected. They try the mosque, they don't feel connected, but they are connected to traditional worship. They have this certain level of connection. When they are around the traditional worshippers,
Yeah.
they feel these goosebumps. They feel connected. They feel like this is where I belong and everything. That is how my friend explained our experience.
Oh wow.
That is how she explained it. She said immediately she stepped foot into that shrine because it started from a performance. We went.
okay.
I studied theater art in school. We went for a performance, and then when she got to the place, she said she felt vibration in her body. She felt this goosebump, and then she just feels like I belong here because we've also had this when I was in school, we don't go to church. She's actually my best friend. We stayed together for a very, very long time. We don't go to church because we don't see the need to exactly. So we're trying to find where we
Where you
belong.
want
Exactly,
to,
like
yeah.
what do I want to do? So we were in the midst of that identity crisis. That was when she found
That
that
place.
place. And I think she has grown in it. And right now, I see it. I don't see it as she's just doing it because she wants to feel unique or she just wants to trend. She's deep in it.
She's found an identity.
Yes, she
in
has
it.
found an identity in it. So I think some people are just genuinely want to connect to their roots.
But as much as some are born out of genuinity, majority
Yeah, I
are
feel it.
trend.
Yeah,
In this
yeah,
generation,
yeah.
majority is just the trend thing.
maybe
Yeah.
like 10 out of 100
Ahead
actually
are genuine
Yeah,
about
have
genuine.
it.
intention
Yeah.
about it. Yeah. So here is one of the stories we got from our anonymous link. This person said, I'm a Muslim, but most of my friends are Christian. Recently, one of my friends started practicing traditional worship. Just like I said, she says she feels more powerful and free. But now my other friends are judging her and calling her evil. I don't know where to stand. Should I support her or stay away?
I will stand in the air.
What do you guys think? Me, I support my friend, Cha. I don't have anything against her or anything. So I think if you really love your friend and you are a big supporter of whatever it is that she does,
Yeah.
and you actually feel like she's doing the right thing, please support her. Do not bash her. Do not try to
Right.
chastise her for choosing what she wants for herself. After all, she's an adult. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, there is no compulsion in religion, right? So everyone has, especially the kind of society that we are, there is that freedom of religious association. So yeah, I think everyone has the right to practice whatever they think
Femi,
fits.
what do you?
Yeah, I think you should start with your friend because there's this thing I think we as Nigerians are supposed to notice. One thing we need to actually learn is that our native religions are not inherently evil. Just like how in old Christianity, like they took some books out of the Bible because they said they had incantations and some like maybe almost demonic applications. So that's to show that even this our so-called righteous religion had its own evil aspects also. So I think that's the same approach, because you see people have Ifa for consultation, you have this for healing of diseases, and so like you have different
Yes,
aspects. You have one
yes.
for fertility. So you can see that just some aspects that are evil, just like I study microbiology now. So I know that in general bacteria, everyone when you hear bacteria, everybody thinks disease and stuff.
Yeah,
But you
bad.
find out that almost 90% of all bacteria are actually good and you need them to survive. Then it's just a small, just a fraction that
Yeah.
bad that gives
The
it a
whole-
so I think that lady that says her friend, just let her be what she wants to be. And I'll say just keep a wary eye. If you see her start acting suspicious, because you can't really trust anybody.
Anyone again?
Yes. So
You don't know what she might get exposed to.
Yeah.
If she doesn't have
So-
a mind of her own, she might get exposed to very,
Yes,
very
so if
terrible
you
things.
see her start
Yes.
acting suspicious, then just cut her off. Don't call her out and say she's evil. Just find a way to start distancing yourself.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So let's play a quick game.
Okay.
So now I'm going to have you to answer sacred or scam. I'm going to list out a couple of things. Like once I say one, you give me an answer. Either it's whether
Sacred,
you think it is
sacred or
sacred
scam.
or
Or
it's
it's
a
a
scam.
scam.
So let's start with sowing seed for miracles.
Scam.
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 We all agree on that.
I really relate
Spell
to that, by
tithe.
the way.
Paying that. Sacred.
For me, that's sacred.
think it's
Tithe,
sacred.
because
Bible
it's in the
says
Bible.
Give your.
Well,
It is a Muslim.
your-
I can relate to that. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
get you, I
I can
get
relate
you.
to
Yeah,
that.
Give
yeah.
your
Wearing
tent.
hijab or covering hair. I think it's
Sacred,
Sacred,
yeah.
oh.
It's protection actually.
Exactly.
Yes.
Protection,
Sacred.
protection for the ladies. by
You think
the way.
it's scam?
Yeah.
Yeah, why
Why?
we going to create your hair? They dare you to cover it.
Okay, over to you.
Okay, yeah, so the idea is around protection. You know, in society, ladies basically like this is just we being objective now. So when a lady appears, by default as a guy, you're attracted. We can't deny that. So the hijab is now meant to like protect the lady. That's like protect her when she walks in this society from
The
evil
men's
eyes.
evil eyes.
Right. So it means it kind of protects like at least for those ones that might want to be fascinated on illegally. So the hijab kind of prevents from even seeing anything that would even distract your attention, kind of. So that's just like the logic around hijab.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
really agree with that one because it makes me sound like a feminist, but you're not dealing with the main issue. You get you're not actually dealing with the main issue. The main issue are the evil eyes, not the
Yeah.
woman. So you're covering the woman.
No, you
but
can't,
the
you
evil
can't,
eyes
you
are
can't
still
stop. You
watching.
can't stop a man from staring
From
at
what
a
he
lady.
thinks in his heart.
Yeah.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
can't stop a man like man. Don't look at the lady. But
Yes.
when you look and you can't really say anything, there your heart there is limit to how much you begin to
Yeah,
not
you-
think
yeah,
crazy
how much you
things.
can
It's
imagine.
like saying now you're a vegetarian, you don't like meat, but
Yeah.
me, that I'm a full-blown omnivore. I should eat meat around you because it makes you bad. You're the one with the like the ideology or specifics,
Yeah.
but it's indirectly affecting me also. So that's so
Because
It all
at the end
comes,
of- you
it
know,
all
it's still
comes down to the
society.
fact that we
Yeah.
will not agree on all of these
Yes.
things. We
Yeah.
will
Yeah,
agree
yeah.
and disagree.
Disagree,
So let's move to
actually.
the next one. Speaking in tongues. sacred.
It's 50-50 for me.
For yes,
Yeah,
actually.
for me,
Because
it's,
Bible
Some
says-
people fake it.
Yeah.
yeah, some people
And then
fake
And then
it,
the Bible
but
also
why are
says
you
it's not
faking
everyone
it?
that's going to speak it. The Bible also tell you that there's no point speaking in tongue if there's no interpreter.
Yes.
So why if there's no interpreter, why are all of us just
But there are some people that
Not
actually
easy.
have the gift of speaking and then they can interpret for
but
themselves.
Yeah,
they're not
yeah, actually.
interpreting it for you.
Yes.
So what's the point? So I feel it's in the middle.
So next one, fasting for 40 days. Scam. Because
No, actually, I believe it's sacred.
It's
it's scam. It's scam
It's
to
scam
me.
for me, oh.
It's scam for me.
Abeg.
Fasting for 40 days. Do you murder somebody? Are you trying to ask for forgiveness of one grave sin?
Are you trying
no,
to atone for
fasting-
something?
Exactly.
Fasting to receive something to me, I feel is a scam because I don't see why you're suffering. Because supposedly God is your father, so you won't to your earthly father, you won't
Yeah,
suffer to please him.
So, exactly.
But where I feel it's sacred also that fasting is more of gaining abilities. Actually, if you check it outside of Christianity and Islam, you see some religions that you need to fast to be able to open your third eye. That's what
Yeah,
they tell you
spiritual
now.
connection.
Yeah, there's a spiritual connection in fasting at the brink of death and all these kind of things that also builds discipline. So there's a lot of actually.
Yeah.
I think it's just modern Christians now that have turned it into
Yeah,
something of
But I-
fast to receive.
But
fast to receive.
I actually feel like if you're fasting this large number of days, you're actually trying to be more than Jesus at this point.
It's actually
because
more true.
even in the Bible, Jesus is the only person that fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. It's like you want to be Jesus and then you want to be beyond, because there are people now that do 70 days.
70 days.
Some people
Nobody
do
did break their
55
fast.
days.
Jesus did straightforward.
Straight,
Exactly.
actually.
Exactly. Yeah, I understand that. I
So
understand
yeah,
that.
yeah, I think I would just like to also bring in. So like in the case of a Muslim, we do fast 30 days in Ramadan. That's like the longest stretch we do have, right? So I started looking at it from the religious perspective, which of course we can always give the religious backing and stuff. But medically, it has been proven that, for instance, when one do not eat for a very long time, it helps.
Cleansing bad
Exactly,
cells.
it kind of helps your digestive system. Meaning,
No,
after
again too.
you've eaten, and then
Medical.
for a very long time you did not really eat,
Yeah.
which we can connote to fasting now. It helps your digestive system to be able to like regain its system back and then function much more effectively. So either we want to look at it from the religious
So
perspective,
that's more like the scientific part
or the
of it
medical
now.
part of it. It's also
Even in
very, very
cancer
beneficial.
vaccine,
Exactly,
tell you,
it
when you
goes a
fast,
long
it
way.
hits your cancer cells.
Because one of the things that actually cause the illness that we experience is also partly the food that we eat. Some decompose, and then I don't know whether decompose is the right
I
word, or
understand what you're
digest.
saying, but like,
So,
do you
either
understand?
religious
do
or
you,
medical.
Do you agree with the fact that the people that are actually doing this fasting, they might not even know the benefits of all these
Yes,
things that you
that's what
said?
I'm
Yeah.
So it might not actually be the reason why they're actually
They are
doing the
fast.
fasting.
Yeah, yeah, it might not be.
They're
Yeah,
observing
they
But
don't
at the end of the day,
most
you
of them
know,
don't even
fact is
understand
fact,
the
so-
benefits of not eating.
Yeah.
They just want to
Yeah.
fast
That's
because
why
our
it's-
pastor said
that's why
you
it's
should
scamish.
fast for 40.
That's what is scamish.
So the
Or we
last
can
one
say like
is
sacred with a cloak of
Yes.
scamming.
Exactly, yeah. So the last one is sacrifices in traditional religions. I think it's sacred.
I think it's
Sacrifices in
I think it's
traditional
calm.
religion.
Yeah.
Because for
Sacrifice.
instance, I think it's calm because for instance, if you're not a traditional worshipper, then why sacrifice? It's not genuine. in my
No,
opinion,
like
though.
for them that they are the
for them.
traditional
Okay, for them.
worshippers.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
that they are
yeah.
making
Sacred.
For them, it's
It's
sacred,
sacred,
definitely.
yes,
For them,
yes.
yeah. For them, it's
I think
sacred.
so, yeah. So. Yeah, this has been a very powerful conversation.
I
We've
know,
learned
right?
a lot from this episode, and
Sacred
it has been
scam.
very, very insightful. I enjoyed this conversation so much.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us on the ZPod episode 2. We're going to catch you guys in our next episode very soon. Stay tuned. This podcast is proudly powered by the Showcase African TV. Follow us on all our social media platforms and also subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Showcase Africa TV. This is the ZPod
Bye,
Bye,
Gen
Gen
Z.
Z.
for Gen Z. Catch you guys
Bye.
later.